You could take a guy like Canelo. This guy could do. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude.
You can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
Terence "Bud" Crawford kept his perfect record intact after outpointing Canelo Alvarez with a unanimous decision. Claiming the title of undisputed super middleweight champion, the clash went down on September 13th, 2025 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas and was billed as one of the year's most anticipated showdowns. Stepping up 2 weight divisions, Crawford entered the ring brimming with confidence. Even though Canelo had the size and power edge, Crawford dictated the pace with crisp footwork, smart combinations, and precise boxing skills that effectively neutralized Canelo's strengths.
I ask you though, Canelo this week actually said something interesting. He goes that Crawford's better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like he is?
I think he's more all-rounded in some ways, but Mayweather was so good at certain things that made him impossible to beat. He really stuck to his niche of style, where Crawford kind of tries to fight the more honest, I guess, exciting, traditional way, being there, just moving out the way, landing the shot, where Mayweather would have you dancing around him and chasing him and falling short and falling in and countering the life out of you, and knew and understood 10-9 rounds better than anyone else. You only have to win 7 10-9 rounds clear and you've won the fight as long as you don't get put down. And obviously he never really got put down. I know there's a few question marks, but for all intents and purposes never got put down, and he was the best, one of the best to ever do it. It's very hard to go a whole career undefeated.
For this matchup, Floyd Mayweather Jr. threw his support behind Terence Crawford, backing his skill set and trusting him to overcome Canelo Alvarez. Even though many viewed Crawford as the underdog, Mayweather put down a $50,000 wager on him at plus 148 odds. When Crawford pulled off the unanimous decision win, the bet paid out big, earning Mayweather a return of $124,000. His gamble not only reflected faith in Crawford's talent, but also underscored Mayweather's sharp eye for reading the sport.
What did you think? What did you think of the fight?
Man, I loved it, man. I loved the fight, man. I love the fight. I did not know how it was gonna go. I didn't think the weight was gonna be a problem for Terence Crawford. I'm on record as saying I didn't think it was gonna be a problem, but it stood to be seen. It needed to be seen, and I knew we would have known after the first, second, or third round. You feel what I'm saying? And when I seen how Canelo was respecting his jab and how Canelo was respecting his power from the very beginning, I knew how it was gonna go. And I knew that Bud was only gonna get stronger and get bolder, and start to wear him down, because Canelo is known to start to wear a little bit in the later round.
Everyone said that Crawford was not going to exchange tonight, and he traded with Canelo up close.
Man, Bud is the best, man. Bud is the best. I've been on wax and saying that, Bud. I've been on wax and saying that for a couple of years now. I bet against Bud on Spence. I bet against Bud on Porter. I didn't think that Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud the best, right? He hands down. He the best. He the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do, and he is doing it with ease.
Break,
you got to respect that.
Break it down for me. How did he win that fight in the way he won it tonight?
He won the fight by gaining Canelo's respect. I think he was already in Canelo's head a little bit. I think that even though Canelo knew he was smaller and everything else, these fighters are still humans and they hear what the people are saying. Canelo was, Crawford was undefeated. Look at what he did to the Spence. I mean, look at what he's doing to some of these people. So no matter what, I mean, you have to take that into consideration.
Floyd Mayweather has also been vocal about the pound-for-pound discussion, firmly placing Terence Crawford at the top of the list. After Crawford's impressive showing against Canelo Alvarez, Mayweather applauded his skill set, discipline, and ability to succeed across multiple weight classes. To Mayweather, pound-for-pound greatness isn't just about stacking up belts, it's about repeatedly proving dominance against the toughest opposition. In his eyes, Crawford has done exactly that. By staying unbeaten and defeating some of the sport's best champions, Crawford has established himself as the fighter to beat in today's boxing era.
Check this out, guys. Floyd Money Mayweather just shared on social media that he bet $50,000 on Crawford to win, and he won $75,000 back. So Crawford made Mayweather $74,000. Most people that I talked to were betting on Canelo. A few people bet on Crawford. How much money did you win on Crawford? $200 here, $200 there. But most people that I know bet on Canelo. And we'll hear from Canelo. We're going to hear from Crawford. And I'll keep you guys posted. But right now, Floyd Money Mayweather bet on Crawford and made some money. What do you want to see Crawford do next? What do you want to see Canelo do next? Let me know. Definitely interesting developments here tonight. When I watched the fight live, I thought Canelo won. I think Canelo won. I have to watch it again, but with no audio because I know the broadcasters were all against Canelo. They were all against him all week from the rivals.
Terence Crawford has long expressed respect for Floyd Mayweather, not only for his ring skills, but also for how he built and protected his career and legacy. What began as admiration eventually grew into a genuine connection between the two fighters. Over the years, Mayweather has shared bits of guidance with Crawford, and Crawford has made a point to put that advice into practice rather than just listen. Their relationship highlights a bond built on ambition, legacy, and a mutual understanding of the sacrifices required to achieve greatness in boxing.
In your opinion, who's the best fighter in the world?
We can put Tank up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion, something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford.
In a recent press conference, Canelo Alvarez openly admitted, "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather." The remark carried weight, especially considering Alvarez's first professional loss came at the hands of Mayweather back in 2013, when he was just 23 and still undefeated. Against Crawford, however, the story was different. Crawford delivered a brilliant performance, using quick hands, sharp footwork, and precise tactics to outclass Alvarez over 12 rounds. Even after jumping up 2 weight classes, Crawford managed to nullify Alvarez's trademark power with disciplined defense and well-timed counterpunches.
I know how you is. You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever... Keep it real, bud. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting. Yeah. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
But you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll beat his ass. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of.
After Canelo Alvarez claimed that Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, fired back with criticism. He argued that Canelo's comment was more about boosting Crawford's image, which in turn could make Canelo's own loss look less damaging. Jeff pointed out that Canelo's defeat to Floyd happened when Canelo was already in his prime, dismissing the idea that Mayweather was past his best at the time. He also pushed back on comparisons of defensive ability, maintaining that while Crawford is an exceptional fighter, nobody has matched Floyd's mastery of defense.
Fight Hub TV right here in the middle.
Yeah.
Champ, first off, I want to thank you for the illustrious career that you have given us in the game. You've been a steadfast professional in the way that you conducted yourself, and I want to thank you on behalf of all of the boxing media.
Thank you, sir.
Number
It's my
2,
pleasure.
Champ, I wanted to ask you, this was a fight that we haven't seen from you before. We've never seen you have the sustained and prolonged frustration during the fight. Was there a point in time where you figured that this just wasn't going to be my night? And if you did, when did that happen?
No, I never thought that. I always try. All the rounds I try, but you need to accept it, right? Sometimes you cannot go, and I try all the rounds. I never think about that because my gene, so I cannot think in that way. But I try my best tonight.
And lastly for me, Champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Trainer Greg Hackett has also shared his perspective on the Mayweather versus Crawford debate, siding with Floyd Mayweather Jr. as the superior fighter. Even with Crawford's impressive win over Canelo Alvarez, Hackett believes Mayweather's unmatched defense and ring IQ give him the edge. While he recognizes Crawford's talent, Hackett points to Floyd's undefeated record and dominance across several weight divisions as proof of a greater legacy. His viewpoint adds to the ongoing conversation within the boxing world about who truly stands as the greatest fighter of this era.
Remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course.
Yeah, nobody had it.
And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
yeah, what was Canelo? What, 20 something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost. Yeah, but man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Want
to make himself look like he did something.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has pushed back against Canelo Alvarez's claim that Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather Jr. According to Hearn, Crawford's resume doesn't stack up to Mayweather's. He argued that several of Crawford's opponents were past their best when he faced them, whereas Mayweather consistently took on elite names at the top of their game. While Hearn acknowledged Crawford's big win over Canelo, he stressed that Mayweather's body of work, spanning multiple divisions and filled with victories over top-tier fighters, remains on another level.
The Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez fought.
Yeah.
In the last version of Terence Crawford that we've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Who's the better fighter, Jim?
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. Bud, I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we ain't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you're in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look so great.
Carmamel Moughton recently reaffirmed his belief that Floyd Mayweather remains the greatest of all time. Even with all the attention surrounding Terence Crawford's recent dominance, Moughton stressed that Mayweather's flawless record, defensive brilliance, and long-standing success across multiple weight classes set a standard that's hard to match. While he acknowledged Crawford's impressive performances, especially the victory over Canelo, Moughton pointed out that true greatness isn't defined by a single fight. It's about sustained excellence, longevity, and staying unbeaten at the highest level. In his view, Crawford is world-class. But Mayweather's legacy still sits on a higher tier.
Canelo saying that Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. But I think Crawford's a phenomenal fighter. The thing is with Crawford, and I was kind of goading him on this, and it's not his fault. His resume's not that impressive. Like I said to him, tell me your best win ever. This is what I said to him. And you know what he said? Ricky Burns. Right? Now, Ricky Burns is a great fighter. He's my guy. He's a 3-division world champion. But you can't say that he is, like one of the greats. He's one of the greats of Scottish boxing. But if you're talking about one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time, it's not Terence's fault that he hasn't been able to get those fights, but a lot of the guys that he's fought have been done. Even arguably Ricky Burns at the time. I know he went on to win other world championships, but he was kind of on the slide at that time. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Gamboa, all of these guys. Who else did he beat? Ndongo. Like Errol Spence, another example. Terence is brilliant, but he's never actually really had many notable victories. This would be it. I mean, this would be an incredible achievement. But I just feel like at the age that they're at, like, what is going to happen in this fight? And I just see I don't think Terence, because he shouldn't, is going to take that many chances in the fight. He needs to use his movement, use his footwork, which Canelo doesn't like, and win rounds. And Canelo doesn't really like to force a fight. When did you last see Canelo really trying to get a finish?
Terence Crawford has also spoken about the constant comparisons to Floyd Mayweather Jr., stressing that every fighter deserves recognition in the context of their own era. He stated that he is the best of his time, just as Mayweather was in his, and that measuring one directly against the other doesn't truly capture their individual greatness. Crawford's stance shows both confidence in his accomplishments and a determination to build a legacy that stands on its own, separate from past legends. Following his historic win over Canelo Alvarez, Crawford's longtime trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, made it clear there's no rush toward the next fight. He highlighted that Crawford has just secured one of the biggest victories of his career and needs proper rest before thinking about what comes next. After months of intense preparation and 12 tough rounds in the ring, recovery, both physical and mental, should be the top priority. Instead of immediately chasing another opponent, Bomac encouraged Crawford to enjoy a well-earned break and recharge before mapping out the next chapter in his already legendary career.
How do you sit with this? Because two pound-for-pound greats of this era, Canelo, we see the resume, Crawford, two-time undisputed, potentially this weekend becomes 3. I've said in a few interviews, is it skills pay the bills, or does a good big man beat a good little man? How do you see it?
I feel like the skills pay the bills, and I feel like Crawford's not that much littler than Canelo. We've seen in the face-off that they're around the same size. If not, Crawford like a little bigger than. Yeah, for sure. So really just we're gonna see tomorrow. How it plays out. Whoever the better man is that night, I feel like will win. I feel like it's even playing fields, and both guys coming ready. So we're just gonna have to see.
If Terence does win this, a lot of people are saying that puts him as the greatest of all time. Now, I know it's hard because obviously you've been with Floyd, and a lot of people are saying Floyd is great. But does that at least put him in that conversation with your Floyd Mayweathers, your Manny Pacquiao's, your Sugar Ray Leonard's, all the greats of the past, and obviously Canelo obviously as well because he'll be there. Does that put him there?
Yeah, for sure. Of course nobody will, but I feel like Floyd will always be the greatest of all time.
Bernie the Boxer Thigh, a close associate of Terence Crawford, voiced strong criticism after the Canelo fight, claiming, "They tried to rob us." He argued that the scorecards didn't fully capture Crawford's dominance, with too many rounds scored too close or leaning unfairly toward Canelo. In his view, Crawford controlled the tempo, showcased sharper fundamentals, and clearly outworked his opponent. While the unanimous decision confirmed Crawford as the winner, Bernie felt the margins on the cards didn't reflect the true gap in performance. His remarks underline how judging in boxing continues to spark debate and frustration, even when the outcome looks decisive to most fans.
You know what? We're going to get back in the gym. And we're going to assess that. And, right now I just want him to go on vacation, have some fun, spend time with his family, man, because we trained for probably a half a year for that fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of time spent away from home, a lot of time spent away from the family. So I just want him to just go get back home.
And what for you? Yeah. Damn. And for you? Man, hey, this thing. Appreciate you. What you saying about training a half a year?
We trained almost a half a year for that fight. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it was so sharp. Everybody.
Floyd Mayweather brings a unique perspective to this conversation, having already shared the ring with Canelo Alvarez back in 2013. At the time, Canelo was an unbeaten rising star, and Mayweather's victory over him remains one of the defining moments of his career, an example of his defensive brilliance and unmatched ring IQ. Fast forward to today, and with Terence Crawford now decisively defeating Canelo, Mayweather has shifted his attention toward Crawford himself. By calling him out, Mayweather isn't just stirring up excitement in the boxing world, he's also signaling that he still considers himself capable of competing with the very best.
This the second time he destroyed every myth. Can he take a punch? Is he strong? Is this guy too strong? Man, he did everything. He did everything. Didn't he? Stood and fought with him. See how he
was in the pocket. Was in the pocket.
Turned him. Did everything. Talking about he too strong. Turned him a couple times. Pushed it. Crawford the best.
So what do you think? Could Floyd Mayweather's call out of Terence Crawford set up one of the biggest fights in boxing history? Or should money stay retired and let Crawford shine as the torchbearer of this era? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young. Yeah. And he was like, that was when he was probably
he
at
was
prime,
in his
right?
prime, yeah.
Prime, and you're only 23?
23.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because, you know, beat him. If you beat him, you want to be the best in the world. 23, so imagine that. But, you know, he was the better man that night. A lot of experience. He's a great fighter, so. But I